Welcome to the Archotechs, a RimWorld fluid ideology series about pursuing the Archonexus. Episode 57, Big Guns. To briefly recap last episode, we had finally taken the time to clear the ancient danger. It doesn't really provide us any benefit, especially not in the short term, but it's possible that a slaver or a royal tribute collector comes by and we pop these guys out, enslave them, and sell them. We'd also enslaved Slave 1 and Slave 2 after converting them, getting our development points closer to the desired 18 for reform, in case you all vote that I change up the ideology a little bit for next map tile. Speaking of which, if you haven't voted already, the pinned comment contains the link to the poll. Anyone is welcome to vote. And then lastly, we accepted the venerated artifact. We haven't gotten any of the quests for information, but it's a start. This episode, what I'm hoping to do is to finish off pulse charged munitions and perhaps maybe even manufacture one and start cataphract armor, and then probably either finish or nearly finish the major architect structure. I'd also like to convert Ritual in 2 days' time, Roto here, and then execute him to maximize the suppression on Slave 1 and Slave 2, who are not currently maxed. I'm going to be tending Bunny with Glitterworld meds, because it is unlikely that I bring the Glitterworld meds to the next map tile. And it appears to be like I need to do maybe a little bit of hunting, as the amount of food that we have is dwindling low, but not dangerously so. A lot of these stockpiles need to be merged, so they look a lot smaller once they are. So now we have a spare Locust armor, and this is so that Zleb at a 72% armor or No Luck at a 79 can switch out. The trio has fresh armor in the 90s. Those legendaries rolling off the line. If you were curious about the graph for wealth, we're sort of bouncing around about 350k, which is the requirement. Currently it's at 343. It will, I think, be extraordinarily easy to hit the mark. So I'm not fretting about that, not at all. Another thing I realized I need to do is, now that we have cleared the ancient danger, I can add it to the inside zone and then add the wall to the home zone. And that looks correct. Shield. I do not want you in the Locust armor. All the other slaves need to have their clothing dyed as well, or at least pieces of it, so they look to match. And that even means you, Jordan. You might be sick, but not spared from the work. Another thing I'm likely to do is to sell some of these wolves. I think it's far too many wolves to try to keep trained. We can't even keep more than 5 animals for the next Archonexus, so it doesn't really make sense to have as many wolves as we currently have. So I'll probably be doing that at next chance. I'm going to call in a trade caravan for, let's say, exotics. That might give me a chance to buy some plasteel, which we're going to need if I'm going to make more armor. And a paid heat wave. What you're offering for a 5-day heat wave, no thanks. A 5-day heat wave shuts down the farms. We make more money farming than we do from that heat wave. Okay, everybody seems to be in the correct colors, I think. We're close enough that I haven't noticed. Sven is wearing a smoke pot pack. No, I don't like that. It's a very weak utility compared to some of the other ones I have access to. It does look like high priority smelting is in order. So that might be something I have Zleb do tomorrow. This is kind of a lot of junk. Or maybe Trustin does it. All of the burned up tribals that were up here still need to get scorched. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and clear their corpses. So, human-like corpses in this stockpile, and then we have some dead tribals down here. So, human-like corpses in that stockpile. I could probably shrink it. And that gives my slaves something to do. Once it stops raining, I will also try to burn the rhino corpses as well. One of the issues with wolves as pets. In vanilla RimWorld, without mods, there really are not a lot of good ways to heal wounded animals. Animals that have lost limbs or have scars. For scars, you can give luciferium, but it's very tricky to try to schedule drugs for a wolf, or for really any animal, because, you know, they don't have pockets. And the only way to recover lost limbs would be heal mech serum, which is incredibly rare and should not be relied upon as a method to heal your battle pets. So I do find that outside of dryads, which can heal themselves through the use of, you know, the tree, battle pets are very fragile, even thrumbos, because it only takes a few hits to the brain and they become incredibly slow and not really able to contribute to a fight. So the problem with wolves is the only utility left for pets, unless you're going to burn through them, which is entirely possible. You can definitely tame a whole bunch of elephants and just kind of throw them at a fight, is hauling. And wolves eat a lot of food and are very hard to train, so they're pretty terrible haulers. So yeah, I got a bunch of free wolves, but I don't know if they're going to be sticking around very long. Whereas dogs are better haulers that don't require constant training for maintenance. And they're just easier to handle. They're also not constantly trying to kill you when you try to tame them. But it's often why you won't really find me using elephants or megasloths or really any other really large creatures for hauling, is because the amount of food that they require and training that they require in no way offsets the hauling that they will provide. And then they also can't haul to stockpiles without causing an immense amount of filth. So you have to haul to some sort of secondary or tertiary stockpile. It's a bit of a mess. You can do it, but I don't enjoy it. It's cumbersome, it's slow, and it's something I often avoid. Unless it's the point of the series. So our dining room is unbelievably impressive. Seems to me like trust and finished smelting. Let's see if there's still smelting tasks. And then this stuff is not queued to be smelted. I can sell this to a weapon person. Let's bring this back outside. 310 steel from smelting slag and weapons. It's not bad. So in about 18 hours, I'll be able to do the conversion ritual. And then in one day, we could do a public execution. So we'll do those sort of hand in hand. These slaves will stop being able to feed themselves because there is no more meat in that stockpile. So I think it's time for Zaleb to find some. And these alpacas look pretty easy to kill. A shield. Going on a confused and wandering due to Alzheimer's. The thing that I'm sort of curious about is, will she snap out of it before her luciferium runs out? I could obviously knock her unconscious or something, but I don't know. I kind of like leaving it up to chance. Alright, Sven, you shouldn't be hunting. I need you researching. I know it's fun to be out here with a gun. I'm only going to have Zleb do the clearing. Ah, she's no longer confused. Well, congratulations, you survived that test. I'm going to give her a Molotov cocktail, because she idles pretty close to the firebox. And then I'll give her luciferium. There's not a lot of it left. I'm not going hunting for it. She can burn through her supply while she works for us. So we're at 1630 out of 2100. Not bad. So Bunny's health here. 25 over 13. It takes a lot of time to recover from sleepy sickness. Oh, she's confused again. Yeah, Alzheimer's is not a pretty thing. Not in real life and not in the game. A horrible affliction, to be sure. And major Alzheimer's in the game really throws you into confusion loops sometimes. So here you can see the effect of no food. What I could do is allow milk into the hoppers, because I'm not really using the milk. So I guess this is now sort of a milkshake machine. And the caravan we called in, here it is, and there was a relative, father of slave 2. Now JD should start butchering. And there's 2 more wolves losing training. Yeah, it's not something I'm going to invest heavily in. So all of these weapons that we hadn't smelted, but I obviously don't need or want to keep, can get sold. As well as the flak. And that is almost perfect amount of steel, or silver rather. There is not a lot that I want to buy off of them. They don't have much, so this is the trade. Let me double check that they didn't have plasteel. Sometimes they carry it, sometimes they don't. No. Were these the... Oh, this is a combat supplier. That makes sense. I called in a exotic goods. So this isn't them. This is just incidentally some other caravan. And it looks like I have some bows to sell. Are there bows laying around out here that I could throw into stockpile? I don't see any. But I don't want to keep crummy bows. Yeah, it looks like Zleb's grabbing some. So they are... Where are they? I don't know where they're grabbing them from. One thing that you could do is you can throw a stockpile underneath the weapons that you're hauling to just prevent haulers from having to work, and then you can sell them off. But it seems like I don't have that choice right now. Maybe we're done hauling. So here's JD replenishing the meat that we need. And I'm going to go ahead and hunt the capybara as well. They're just close to the east. One could make the argument that the elephants hold more value hunted for their ivory and leather. It's probably true. But I'm just trying to fill the meat stocks. We don't really need more money. Even Trustin's going out to hunt, suspecting he has nothing better to do. No crafting queued up. So formal shirts and formal vests aren't queued because I'm guessing we don't have the allowed materials. So I'm going to transfer that over to Thrumbo Fur, and hopefully we can get some amazing Thrumbo Fur out of it. I'm really hoping for some Masterworks to last us for a long time. Or legendaries, that would work too. Not so much excellence, but oh well. I'm going to change the queue to allow excellent shirts. So don't make like 15 shirts and no vests. I have not gotten lucky yet. 2 excellent shirts in a row, when normally Trusted makes Masterworks. Oh, there's a legendary, but that's art. I'm gonna put it in Sven's room, make him happier. So Bunny, we can trigger the conversion ritual. Let's go ahead and do that. I don't know if it's going to be successful, but however it ends, we do have the relics in the ritual room. And if it is successful, it means that we can go ahead and to execute. And here is the exotic goods trader that I called in. Fantastic. It worked. It was effective. We have maximum, or the required amount of ritual points. As soon as this prisoner gets placed back, it is lights out. And this is so that Slave 1 and Slave 2 has max suppression. Plus, it's just fun to kill things. It was awkward, but the benefit is Bunny killed someone. What a rush. Sven, let's go buy something fun. So I had mentioned wanting to get rid of some of the wolves. So I'm just going to sell the bottom 5. I'm not really looking at who they are. I'm not picking favorites. Buying the plasteel. Selling the calves and foals that I don't want. I might want a shield core. Blinding pulse and focus. I don't know if I have those. Let's sell the horns. And that would work. That looks good. Okay, so Sven is learning Blinding Pulse. And Bunny can learn Focus. I'm going to wake her up for that. And now I'm down to 2 wolves. I guess Evil Runner and Kadath made the cut. It's going to be a lot easier to train 2 than 7. And if you're wondering what that did to my wealth graph, not much. Lost a few thousand at most. Oh, and we have a new animal to sell. That didn't take very long. So 2 masterwork formal shirts. Now we're working on the formal vests. We got a legendary. Okay, let's sell that full. And a masterwork. That's perfect. So our clothing queue is maxed out. Pulse charge emissions is getting pretty close, like 5-6 done, research-wise. So it's only a matter of time until we get the next tier rifles. I'm excited about that. Now, because I don't want to trigger the rain response, I'm only going to burn these bodies in small batches. Because if I burned all of them at once, we would likely trigger that rain. That would not allow us to burn up those rhinos. And it is double strand harvest time. That's awesome. I have a hard time believing that someone like Trustin, for instance... Oh, we don't really wear vests, do we, because of the armor? But why aren't we switching to a Masterwork shirt over a excellent one? That I don't really understand. Perhaps because it wasn't in the stockpile. But whatever the case may be, let's get rid of the vest. I can force them to wear it instead. So we have another Masterwork vest here. Thrumble fur, formal shirt. Gonna give it to Bunny. We have yet another animal to sell. Oh boy. This caravan is inheriting a lot of critters. I hope they have the food to make it home. 2 new critters. Wow. They are productive. So now I'm out of Thrumbo fur, and I can just say allow Devil Strand as well. And this is a Thrumbo fur masterwork. And we can force that on Sven, because it's considerably better than what Sven was wearing. Not considerably, but definitely better. The other thing I should probably check is to make sure that No Luck and Celeb just have regular button-downs. So this button-down is pretty worn out. Both their button-downs are pretty worn out, so we might want to allow them to wear formal shirts instead, so that they don't get tattered apparel. So I'll have No Luck wear this one, and that means going into the non-royal. And it's allowed already. Cool. So I don't really have to fix that. Because this here doesn't have a lot of hit points left. Well, it has a lot of hit points, but not until half. And non-royal, I don't want you wearing smoke pop packs either. Not that we get to keep them. Anyway. Perfect quality. Love it. What did we end up doing with that guy's corpse? We didn't stick him up there. Is he down here? Nope. I don't know where we put his body. Maybe in an empty... Nope. He's not in a gibbet. I honestly don't even know. Oh, I know what we did with him. He's in here somewhere. So pulse charge munitions just got done. Let's go for cataphract, and let's queue up 5 charge rifles. So we have spare locust armor that I could switch to. But now, for the big charge rifles, to allow us to punch even harder than heavy SMGs. So where's my sacrificed? His name was Roto. Oh, we got a Mech hive dropping on shield. I was very lucky. It chose one colonist at random, and it happened to choose Shield, who was outside. This would have been considerably more annoying if it was in the base. So then... setting them inside. And let's actually use the kill box. The right door is open to it. Denishi, JD, and Slave 1, I believe you all have shield belts. They might punch some of these doors. Oh, actually, they're punching that door down real fast. Turn around. I wouldn't mind them coming in, though. As you can see, it's not a problem. All right, and then the Lancers coming to the other door, so let's get that ready. They haven't even turned around. Turrets for the first time in a long time. Ouch, I tried to have no luck hide from that one. Didn't get it in time. So let's stack up on the doors, right before the doors, so we can all hop out at the same time. Having my target practice go out first. And they got shredded. In fact, I probably don't need the turrets anymore, so I'll turn them off and have my target practice take a step forward. I'll even just do preach health in the middle of this to recover from the torso shot. Long shot was nasty, but it didn't take a long, so ultimately it wasn't hard enough. And checking. Yes, we are done. So let's fix the schedule. Sven to the Sven zone, shield to the shield zone, everybody else unrestricted, and then the slaves enslaved. This door, gonna need construction before Trustin sleeps. And we managed to get a bunch of components out of that, so that's awesome. Thank you, Shield, for being the raid target, I guess. Looks like you need the torch back, though. Sorry, Trust, I'm waking you up again. The torch. Working in the dark makes you slower, of course, so torch is helpful. We have a lot of mechs to shred. I believe this is the mech shred zone, so we'll haul it there. Trustin has a lot of crafting to do now. I'll probably be doing production command with Trustin and No Luck. So No Luck, you are not on bed rest, so yeah, wake up. Doing a bit of the repairs. Now, most of these turrets didn't use a lot of its ammo, so I highly doubt that we are going to rearm them. Automatic rearm doesn't happen until you use more of the shots. When we shred mechs, drop them. That'll speed this up. So you got mechs to shred and then slag to smelt. The Olmec head pleased with its sacrifice. So Bunny is half recovered from sleeping sickness. You can see it takes a long time. No Luck already recovered from those injuries. They wouldn't take so long because preach health and they were pretty surface level. So components yet to be hauled. And the structure only has a little bit of research left. Some great progress. High psychic drone for males is going to be really, really rough. That's going to hit Sven particularly hard. $63. Yep, that's pretty terrible. First charge rifle is legendary, so that's awesome. I suppose it would help to compare. So the heavy SMG does 15 damage in a 3-round burst at 23 range, with an accuracy of short and close to be pretty good. Medium and long is pretty bad. The charge rifle, 22 damage, 3-round burst. So this is 300 RPM, and this is slightly faster at 327. The range goes up a little. The damage goes up a lot. And then the accuracy is actually really good, kind of regardless of the distance. At max accuracy of 40 cells or more, obviously it drops, but we can't aim 40 cells. So at the about 26 cells, or 25 in this case, 83% accuracy is still dead on. Speaking of dead on, Bunny, you get the first one. And if you're wondering about the art, I should have read that. So the art for this legendary charged rifle. Black Rat. This weapon bears a representation of a gunslinger wearing a duster moving to the left. The lower part of the image is dominated by 10 hearts. Sounds like a playing card, huh? The work is infused with, the idea of failure and is done in abstract style. Pretty cool. And that rifle, compared to the base model of 15 damage, you can see it climbed up a lot due to the quality in accuracy and damage. That's what goes up for weapon quality. So now Bunny's weapon is quite the slave killer. Next weapon, probably going to go to Zleb, as Zleb hunts for us. So she should benefit from it more than the others. It might be time to call in another trade caravan, and taking a look at the statistics, I'm over the threshold yet again. Shield, how is your Luciferium? You got about 4 days left? She'll definitely get the major architect structure done in time. So what I'm going to do is the Sven zone. Sven zones. I'm not going to allow Sven to go near the ground pen scanner. What I will do, however, is install art near the ground pen scanner so that it's pretty in there. Something that we hadn't done. And the next charge rifle is masterwork, so that's good enough. It's not quite the 22 damage and 83% accuracy, but it's pretty good. And let's go see that in action. So wildlife, I will go with an elephant hunt. I'm going to need to micromanage this a little bit because I don't want Zleb to open fire at point blank on the elephants. There are 4 of them. And they all want a piece. So here is the initial burst, which ripped that elephant up. The second burst, and the elephant is about half dead. It's a very powerful weapon. I'm going to quickly have the rest of the colonists come and help, though. This will help to fill up the food stockpile considerably, so it's worth the trip, I think. And there's Bunny's volley. And the major architect structure has been studied. That means that technically I am able to accept the Archonexus right now. Now the reason I'm waiting is I want to get more of the weapons and possibly cataphract armor going first. And done. So now Shield is going to be ground pen scanning for plasteel in order to help out with the weapon and armor production that I have queued up. It's also dark there, so let's fix that. Oops. A little bit of a roof collapse. I forgot I put a roof over it. Oh, yeah, let's have you not hunt any more of the elephants. I have enough, I think. But as you can see, it is a very powerful weapon. And that's just the Masterwork one. So Droiden's on a food binge, stealing our nice food. Sorry, Droid. It's not allowed. And he lost a leg for it. And an orbital spacecraft hack. This is going to be for the first piece of the Archonexus. Or the relic, rather. And yeah, I'll accept that, but probably not right now. As I want Bunny back on her feet first. And the slaves able to tank for me. So there's another masterwork. Triumph Ash. Nice. And we'll give that to Trustin himself. So, I don't think I'm going to be giving Droiden a new leg. I don't think that that's on my list of nice things to do. I guess what I could give Droiden is a peg leg. What was it? Left? Be unfortunate to install it on the wrong one. Obviously, we could afford even a bionic leg, but afford and deserving, they're different. This will be rifle number 4. And I believe I have enough plasteel for rifle number 5, and then we're going to run into a bit of a plasteel shortage without aid of either ground pen scanning or trade. So this one is Revenge Gray. Image of centipedes playing backgammon. Oh man. Like some sort of crazy fever dream. And this is the 5th. Alright, the psychic drone is ending, so that will help the moods of the males in the colony. Sven really not doing well with a high psychic drone. 63 mood is, well, it's about that much mood. It's pretty brutal, right? Another thing I could trigger, I don't necessarily need to, is a scarification, because a good scarification ritual could help with mood as well. So maybe in the morning, I will do a scarification ritual for one of the 2 new slaves. Just as a little pick-me-up, especially given that we have the relics sitting there. So slave 2, congratulations, I'm going to carve you up. Just looking at some of the moods that they have here. Nothing that I care to address. Slave 2 got double scars on the same leg, so that's fun. layer them on. And there it is, satisfying. So +1 mood, but then also you have to consider that the relics were present. So it's not just +1, it's actually +4. It's not a big deal, but it's something. It's a little boost. Slave 1 still wants a scarification, but that is going to have to wait, because friends, I am out of time. Thank you for tuning in to episode 57 of the Archotechs, Big Guns. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to vote in the poll, which will help to determine some of the parameters for the next stage of the Archonexus, the link can be found pinned to the top of the comments. Alternatively, you can find the link at Rhadamant.com or on Discord. Thank you so very much for watching. A special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel. I'll catch you next episode. Adios.